Hey everybody, welcome to Fragrance Explorer. My name's Robert. Today we're going to be talking about Valentino Uomo for men. So let's get started. Valentino Uomo for Men is a masculine woody fragrance that was introduced in 2014 by perfumer Olivier Polge. Let's take a look at the note breakdown. In the top we have Bergamot and Myrtle. In the mid we have roasted coffee and Gianduja cream. And in the base we have Cedar and Leather. So let's talk a little bit about first impressions. This was a blind buy for me. I had read a few reviews about this fragrance on Fragrantica and base notes before I made the purchase, but it was kind of a blind buy in that I'd never smelled it at a department store or anything. As soon as you put it on, it's got a really brief opening. And the opening starts off with a little bit of kind of a peppery citrus smell with just a slight bit of camphor. And that dies down fairly quickly and you get right into the heart of the fragrance. And the heart of this fragrance has got that Gianduja cream, which has kind of a chocolate and hazelnut feel to it. And it's just really, it's just warm and pleasing and sweet. It's like a comforting, like a comforting mocha drink with hazelnut. And it's just got a great smell. The mid is so pleasing in this, in that it's really sweet and warm and inviting with those chocolate hazelnut overtones in there. It's just a luxurious smell. Once you get into the base notes have got a little bit of cedar and some leather in there that kind of just pairs perfectly with that chocolate mid. This fragrance is really just smells rich and luxurious and deep, and you just want to wear it with something that's kind of dressed up. You want to wear it with a sports coat or a suit. It's really suited for like cooler weather. It's great for winter wear, probably fall, early spring, but when the weather's nice and cool, this is just kind of a warm, comforting fragrance to wear, especially for evening wear. This would pair really, really well with evening wear if you were going out to, say, a play or orchestral type of performance. This is a really good fragrance. It behaves kind of like a gourmand in the sense that chocolate in the mid and the hazelnut, it does feel a little bit more like a gourmand than it does a woody aromatic fragrance, even though there is cedar in the base and that leather, and you do get the pepper in there, kind of the spiciness with the kind of the bergamot and the opening notes, but it really does perform a bit more like a gourmand than it does a woody aromatic, even though it does have cedar in there. It is kind of a sophisticated fragrance, and so I would say it's more mature, on the mature side. Probably not for this. I wouldn't characterize this as a youth fragrance in any way, but it is a mature, sophisticated fragrance, and highly recommended. Anyway, let's get down to the presentation. It's got this a real nice, heavy glass bottle that's got kind of a studded appearance that's raised all around the bottle. You get this nice studding. It's got like a polished brass band here around the base of the atomizer, and then you get this nice polished brass band in the middle with the Valentino logo emblazoned across it. So it's got a beautiful presentation. The atomizer is unique to this in that it's not generic. It's not one of those just kind of cheap atomizers that you see on some of the cheaper fragrances you might find on, just sitting on a shelf as your, those impulse buy fragrances that are sitting at Old Navy or something as you're walking on your way out. This really does have a very nice, unique atomizer that's paired to the flask. It's got this nice studded crystal look to it, but it's got a nice, kind of wide button on the top of the stopper, and I'm going to waste a spray here. So that you can see the way that this is the atomizer works, but hopefully that comes through. Now, the fragrance, I just love this fragrance, but the fragrance when the atomizer works really, really well on this, but I will say that it does come out in the droplets are fairly heavy, and the disbursement is kind of a tight, like conical pattern. It's not like a bloomed cloud like you get with some real fine atomizers. And so you got to be kind of careful because the droplets do come out fairly heavy. But other than that, I'm really happy with the atomizer. One thing that probably is not great about this, it's not a great traveling fragrance. There's no stopper that covers the atomizer to prevent actuation when you're traveling. Instead, they give you this this little plastic kind of C-shaped band that slips down across the top there, and that's meant to prevent, if you put it back inside of its original box and slide it down in there, when this bounces against a flat surface, it'll prevent it from getting actuated. But I really don't think, it doesn't stay on that securely, and so this probably is not going to travel very well. But that being said, this is going to look great on a display shelf. The performance of this fragrance, voters on Fragrantica lean towards calling this a long-lasting fragrance, but I've worn this several times to several different events and to work a couple times. I really don't think that this is a long-lasting performer. I find that it lasts maybe 4 hours at best, and then you're going to need to reapply. But that's, you know, your mileage may vary on that. So, but at least for my skin type, this one does not have staying power. I get about 4 hours out of it before I need to reapply. Likewise with the sillage and the scent cloud that you get, I find it a fairly tight fragrance cloud. I mean, it probably only extends maybe 16, 18 inches from around me. It doesn't actually, you know, it doesn't bloom out. This is not a loud fragrance by any means. It doesn't just project outward. And so, which is also a little bit different from looking on Fragrantica. It looks like most of the votes on Fragrantica sort of call this a moderate rating, so kind of in the middle there, but I find it fairly tight as far as the sillage goes. Now, this fragrance is, you know, understated, refined. It's got a dignified character. And like I said, it pairs really well with evening or formal attire, and it's not loud or obnoxious in any way. So I think you could get away with wearing this to the office, in an office setting, because it's not super out there. You know, look at me. It's not a loud, pushy fragrance by any means, but it's just got a very pleasing, comforting smell to it with the chocolate overtones and the roasted coffee bean smell in there. So it's sweet, and it's a very understated, subtle fragrance that I think that you could pull off in an office setting. I highly recommend this. I'd give it a 10 out of 10. Right now, looking at Amazon, this runs about $75 US, and I'd highly recommend it. So hope you guys like this review and that you'll join us again. Thanks a lot.